Hello everyone, it's Crafty Carol here from Northern Ireland, and I'm here with another little video for you. I've got a couple of Easter projects in the next couple of videos, which I hope you'll really like, because I'm not around for a week or so over Easter, so I'll put these up before Easter, and then there'll be a little bit of a gap till I get back again possibly, but we'll see how we go. I'm actually having a hip operation, so yeah. We'll see how it goes. So today I wanted to use this lovely Easter Lilies set. It's a bundle in the current annual catalogue, and it is a bundle with the dies. So we've got these lovely images first of lilies, leaves, little sort of grungy image, background image here, and some lovely, quite Eastery sentiments. So trust in the Lord with all your heart. He is risen. Peace I give unto you, and God is good. So nice set for this, and it comes with dies. So you've got the dies that cut out the actual images, and you've also got these dies which you can use to make actual lily flowers with, and they'll be in my second project in the following blog after this one. So let us get on. I'll show you the base card I'm going to try and make, which is this one. I think they're called trellis cards. I'm not quite sure what the name is, but basically you have this sort of trellis bit at the bottom of the card, and I've just daubed a background on the back of the card so it shines through the trellis, gives you a little bit more interest in the card. And then I have stamped, coloured and die cut a couple of the leaves and two of the flowers and the bud and another sort of leaf thing and put it on. So this is what I'm going to make, but I want to do it a little bit differently because I think it's a little bit too plain. I could have used the grungy stamp, but there's already so much detail in the dies that I didn't want too much else on the background. So I'm going to make it today, but I'm actually going to then emboss using this one of the 3D embossing folders. This is my favourite one, the cross-hatched one. These are available as online exclusives. So I'm going to use that to emboss the whole front before I actually stick the flowers and things on. That's my idea. We'll see how it goes because I don't know how it'll turn out. Who knows? Anyway, that's the basic card we're going to do. So let me show you how to make one of those cards. I've got all my stuff here, but not very well organised. So just a second. Can't pick it up. There we go. Oh, for heaven's sake. Right, so we're going to start off with our card base. And our card base is a length of A4 cut at 10.5, or I've forgotten the inches. Hang on, that's 4 inches, is it? 4¼ inches. 4¼ inches, yes. So 4¼ inches by the length of A4, and then you score the length in half. So for us here, it is 14.8. You score in the middle. For our brethren, it's 6 inches, I think. No, it will be less because there is smaller. I think is it 5.5? I think it's 5.5. So I think for inches, you would score at 5.5 down your sheets of A4 if you are from North America. So that is our base card, and we can fold that in half and then just burnish it because we want a really good fold on that halfway point. There we go, because we want it to fold really well. And then to form the trellis, we're actually going to cut strips off the bottom of this. And I've just put all my bits on my trimmer, which isn't very clever. Never mind. Here we go. Got it now. So what we're going to cut 3 strips of 1.5 centimetres or ½ an inch, and 2 strips of 1 centimetre, or it's approximately 3/8 of an inch. So yeah, ½ an inch, 3/8 of an inch for the American measurements. For us in centimetres, 3 of 1.5 and 2 of 1. So it doesn't matter what order you're cutting them in. If you were doing this on a patterned card or doing it with DSP, then it does actually matter the order. I would cut the small strips first and then the 3 bigger strips. But it's plain card, so it doesn't matter. So we're going to go 1.5. We're going to have 3 of those. So that's 1, 2, and 3. And you'll notice I'm using the right-hand side of the trimmer. When you're cutting small strips, it's much, much easier to use the right-hand side of the trimmer. And then we want 2 of 1 centimetre. So 1 and 2. So that's the cutting done. So that is the remnants of our base card. Looks a bit odd at the moment. Now this is my tip for making this card. As you can see from this, I actually stick my strip down the back of the card. So you can see it here, down the back of the card here, so that I can stick the end up here and make sure it's really firmly on. So this isn't going to sort of flap around in the wind at all. So to do that, the easy way to do it is if you've got your fold, reverse your fold. So if you like, this is now the inside of the card. And when you get your strips, try and pick them up and bring them closer to show you. When you cut a strip, I think, look, I need another new blade. It's amazing how many blades I get through. When you cut a strip, there's a back and a front to it. So the back, I don't know if you can see this well, but it has a little bit of an edge to it, whereas the front is completely smooth. So we're going to be using the back. So I want to turn all of these over. So I've got the back uppermost like this. And I'm doing white on white, which is really stupid because you won't be able to see it. I know what I'll do. I'll do the background first and then it won't be a problem. Let me make sure I'm doing the right bit of the background. So it'll be this. I'll turn it the right way out for a minute. And I just used a dauber for the background and I'm using Lemon Lolly. I'll use the same background even though my flowers are actually going to be different colours. And I really need a piece of scrap paper because otherwise I'm going to make a horrible mess, which is not what we want. So I want to do it, I want to go up halfway roughly to about that point there. So I'm just going to pick up some ink on the dauber, tap on there so it's not too bad, and then just literally push it all around the card. So I want to go about that far up. So I'll just do this very quickly and then at least I've got the background done and you'll hopefully be able to see when I'm putting the front on a bit better what actually is going on. Although this won't be behind the front just yet because I'll have it the other way around. Anyway, never mind, we'll manage somehow. Might put a piece of something coloured under or something. Anyway, that's done the inside and I'll just check. I need to go a little bit higher up there. So make sure I'm covering all the bit that's going to show, but still leaves a room there for a sentiment. I've just done that very roughly, so it's a little bit patchy, but you can get the idea. The sponge daubers are so useful. I'm going to be using them a lot. So then when I fold, we've got that. But actually, doing it on the back, I still haven't got the colour, so it didn't help, did it? I don't think I'm quite with it today. Yeah, what can I use? I must have a scrap of something here. I've got a scrap of red, that'll do. So this is just an old tatty scrap, so I'm putting that level with the bottom. I need to be able to see the bottom of the card here, because what I'm going to do is for these strips, I'm going to lay them out. So the first one, I'll move that up a bit so that I can show you against the bottom of the card. So here's the bottom of my card, get rid of that as well, and that'll be a little bit less white to have to see. So I'm going to have the first strip level with the bottom of the card, and then I'm going to have the next two strips equally spaced in between. So I'm just going to do it by eye. I'm not too bothered about it being exact. If you wanted to be OCD about it, then feel free to measure. You'd want 3/4 centimetre gap between each, roughly. Might be a bit less. Anyway, I'm just doing it by eye. So that has given me my position for all of these things. And then I can get my glue. And I want my first upright, which is the narrower piece, to go around here. So all I can do then is I can use, again by eye, I'm just doing it by eye, put glue on there and up there. And then I can stick my piece on, again with the back facing upwards at the moment. This is where you don't really want things to move, so make sure they're well held down and in line. That one's a bit too far over. But while it's glued, it's okay because I can just move it. And then we can do the same the other side, again making sure everything stays lined up. And do the same on this side. So I'll have another line here of glue. This is my simple way to do these cards. I think there are more complicated ways. There might even be more simpler ways, but this is the way that suits me. So there I've stuck my strip on. So that holds these 3 pieces on to form my trellis. So I hope that scrappy card there just helps you see that. So there is my trellis, and when we turn the card the right way round, there we go. So you can see there, I've got my trellis stuck on. Yes, they're not entirely equal spacing. I don't think it matters too much. I can possibly just ease that one down a little bit because I'm using Tombow. So I have got, as you know, the well-known wiggle room, which is important to me. There we go, that's better. So there's my trellis base. Okay, so what I'm going to do as an extra step this time is to get my folder. Oh, I've got bits stuck to it. There we go. Get my folder. I'm going to run this through on my embossing machine, my cut and emboss machine, if I could open it. So I'm just going to emboss the front, including my trellis bit. So I'm going to pop it in like that. Don't have to go over the top, so I'll just bring it up a little bit. So I'm going to emboss it to there. Make sure it's in the middle. Like that. So I'm going to go and run it through the machine and I will be back in just a second. There we have the embossed, hopefully you can see that. There's the embossed front, and I think that just adds a little bit more interest. I'm actually quite pleased with that. So now we need to do the decoration on the front, and I've actually already done quite a bit of it because gets boring watching people colour, doesn't it? So I've actually done my leaves and I've done two of my flowers. I'm doing them a different colour because one of the things with lilies, if you look up pictures of lilies, they can be just about any colour you want. There is a reason for me doing these, but there we go. So I'm going to use the biggest flower because I want two of those. Ooh, dropping everything this morning. There we go, not this one. And we want Memento, so I'm going to stamp it in Memento. On my scrap here. There we go. So we've already got quite a lot of detail in the flower, and I'm using, for this one, I'm using Fresh Freesia and Berry Burst as the two colours, and I'm using my daubers again, which are labelled. I tend to label my daubers just with easy pull off. Well, I actually just usually put the labels on top so that I've actually keep them for the same colours, because really don't want to mix up colours and get the wrong dauber used, because it will just make a mess. So I shall pick that up. Just a little bit here. So my Fresh Freesia isn't actually a very inky pad. I think it needs re-inking, but I'm just going to add that with the dauber in the middle. And I'm not too worried about where I'm going. I'm not going quite to the edge. I'm just laying down a little bit of colour into the leaves of the flower image here. I'm doing this really, really quickly. And you'll notice I'm not bothered about we're staying inside the line either, because I don't need to, because I'm going to die cut it, so it doesn't actually matter too much. Now there's possibly already enough ink on here from Berry Burst, because my Berry Burst pad is very, very juicy, so it needs perhaps a little bit more. So I'm just using the edge of my card to take off some of the excess, and then we'll just put that in the sort of very centre. Take it up the leaves a little way without covering up all the rest. So I've done that really, really quickly. You could take more care over it. I suppose that will do for what I actually want. I also have my bronze marker because I just want to go over the stamens and make them a little bit more defined. Again, it's to match another project that I'll show you next time. So now I need the die that cuts out my flower, and I need room. Just move these to the side. There we go. Get my mini cut and emboss machine. Make a noise putting these down. They always sort of bang. Oh, not too bad there. So the die, luckily for one of these, it has this little sort of edge, so we know which petal that goes around. So I can put that around there like that, fitting it on. And then I use just a little bit of low-tack tape to hold it in place. There, and then I can put it on my machine and run it through. easy. There we go. So there is my next one. Get rid of the bit. Put these out of the way. I keep my bit of low-fnac tape. It's amazing how many times you can use them. Let's put my die on there so I don't lose it. So there is my flower, or my 3 flowers, and I've already done the leaves. I've coloured these actually in Mossy Meadow blends, so I've just used the light and the dark to form that pattern. Oh, and the one bit of stamping I forgot to do, I've got this for my sentiment, so I shall just stamp that. I shall use, I think, which shall we have? We'll have Here's Risen Again. Oh, no, we'll have God is Good this time. Let's get my other stamping block. I could stamp this in colour if you wanted, but I'm just going to use Memento again. So we'll have that there. There we go. So I've got that ready too. So the next thing I want to do is actually shape the leaves. If you see on this one, there's quite a bit of dimension in it. I've actually curled, I don't know if you can see those, I've actually curled the leaves round, and I do that just using the edge of my bone folder. So just on each leaf, I'm just going to run the bone folder up the leaf, and it naturally starts to break down the fibres in the card and just bend it over a little bit. And then I can also do my usual sort of press in the middle and get some shape that way. So that just shapes this flower nicely. So that's my first one. And I'll do the other one in exactly the same way. And you can see I've just been very rough with this colouring that I've done, because I don't need to be very exact. Because it's die cut, it doesn't really matter. I've gone a little bit over the edge with some of the colouring. I'm really not bothered about that. And they're slightly different shades, but I don't care about that either, because in nature, that's what it's like. So you can't see the detail on these lovely stamps quite so well, I suppose, using the darker colours, but yeah, there we go. Anyway, that's just bent the flowers a little bit, which I quite like. I have to still do the, I don't think I've got any, I've got a bit of gold here I can use. I don't know if that's big enough. Got odd bits of gold card, and I don't think it's quite big enough. Let's have a look. I might get that on if I can just trim it down a little bit. So let's just do that. I didn't get my gold foil piece out ready in time, but I think we can manage with this little scrap I found. So I'm just trimming down my sentiment a little bit. I don't want it too big anyway, because it has to fit in around the flowers, but hopefully that's the right sort of size. Oh, look at that. Quite pleased with that. That was a good guess. So I'm just doing this literally by eye. I do this all the time, and I'm not actually measuring it. I'm just cutting it so that I've got an edge around it all. There we go. Really rough and ready, but it works. So I can put that together, just stick that on there so it can be drying while I put the rest of the card together. So just use a bit of Tombow on there. And there we go, stick that on there so it can be drying while I get on with everything else. Is that in the middle? Yeah. Right, so to put these on, first of all, I'm going to just lay them on because I want to work out roughly where I want my flowers and bits to be. So I think I'll make it very much like I made the first one, because it did suit this layout. So I'll have my leaf around the top there, and then my stems under my flowers. So I'll have one there and one down here somewhere there. That's about right. Yeah, so something like that, and my sentiment's going to go across here. So I'm going to put these on with dimensionals. Reach my dimensionals over. So I'm going to start off by actually sticking down, I think, my leaves. So I want to show you how I'm going to stick those down, because you have to be careful. You don't want to put glue on all the bits of it, because you don't want it to stick in the gaps. So I only want to put glue on the bits that are going to stick down. So I need it part up that leaf, top of the stem, this leaf, and the bottom of the stem. So these I'm sticking on flat. So I need it bottom of the stem, top of the stem, and then that's the bottom leaf, so it goes out and just that bit of this top leaf. Because I want to try and make sure I don't get glue in the gaps. I also want to make sure I try and pick it up. That's difficult. Right, so I wanted it about here, and that's where I put the glue. So I've got that stuck on without sticking it down underneath, which is the purpose. So my other flower is going there, so I want my second leaf to be visible, so I want to stick that about there, which means actually I can put glue on quite a lot of it. So the ends of both leaves, top and bottom of the stem again. Trying to slide it off to pick it up because I've lost my tool. There we go. So I have that one like that. So again, not stuck down below, which is the key. This one I want sort of curving around the top here. And again, I'm just going to put that on flat. Then I can put these on, and I'm going to, because I've got some dimension in the flower through the bending, I obviously want to use dimensionals to put them on. So I'll have one on the bud and a couple on each of the others. Just thought I can put them roughly on that one because that's the top one. When I'm doing this one that I want here, I need to be a little bit careful. So if I have my flower, let's see, like that, then I can put a dimensional there, and I could put one down here, but not in the middle. So I can put one top and bottom on here. So these are picking up without the top. So I'll have one at the top and one down here, so that I don't stick it in the centre there where I don't want it. So there we'll have it. What am I doing there or there? There, I think. Yeah. So there, I'm sticking it to these two bits, but not to here. I've actually got a little bit of dimensional showing there. I did this on the last one because I really want the dimensionals quite close. I should have used mini dimensionals really, rather than the big ones. So do you know what? I just sort of push it down. It works. And then there isn't anything to stick to the base here. The others, it's not so much of a problem because I'm going to be sticking them, up the flower roughly the right way up, I'm sticking them on the main part of the card, so it doesn't matter nearly as much. And this one too is going to be sticking on the top of the card, so the dimension I put here, so I can stick it to the top there. And then finally I can slide just behind my cards. I need to just lift that up there to get it in. There. So I'm going to slide this in here. I could put that on dimensionals as well, actually. Why not? I'm not going too far to this end because that's the end I need to just tuck it underneath the rest of the flowers. But so that one there is quite bent, so I need to just tuck it under there. There we go. And then make sure I can see it. And we'll have it there. There we go. So, oh, look at the mess I make with dimensionals, honestly. Nothing to the mess I made when I made the tester thing for the next project I'm going to show you, but that's not today. You'll have to come back and see that one. So that is my new card. Here is my older card, so you can see the two. I think the embossed background does make a difference. This to me is just a little bit too plain in the background. The embossing just does enough for me. And there's the two colours. See which one you like best. This one, I should have told you how I coloured that. I actually used my blends to colour this one. So I used the light lemon lolly to put the base down. And then I used, if you can see, I've just used my Stamping Right marker in Berry Burst just to put the little line dots on to make the colour on those particular lilies there. So those are my projects for today. I hope you like them, and I will see you again soon with the next Easter project. Thank you for joining me today. If you go to the blog at craftycarolscards.co.uk, you'll find all the instructions and all the measurements for these, and I hope you have a go at something similar yourself. You could use any stamp set. It doesn't have to be the Easter Lilies one, but I do think this makes the most beautiful cards. yeah, if you want to see the products, they are listed in the blog. And of course, you can buy them through me or just send me a message. I can get it sorted for you. If you haven't subscribed to my channel already, please do so. And I will see you again soon. Bye for now.